Dad, Mom said dinner's ready.
I just had the coolest dream. I bought Masami Hirosaka's car.
But you did buy Misaki's car.
Holy! Hello and welcome back to RC Icons. I'm lost for words. Before I even start this video, I have to apologize in advance because obviously this car has me crazy excited. And sometimes excitement can come across as boasting. And I just want to start by saying that I in no way am intending to boast in this video. I'm just in awe. I still can't believe that I've got one of Masami Hirosaka's actual race cars in front of me. Signed by him and Masaki, his father. So, how in the world did this happen? A guy that has a car collection, right? I mean, that's a given. But knows absolutely nothing about Yokomo. Now, I say this every time I bring a Yokomo in. So, you saw a video recently, Vacation Buys Part 1, where I showed the 870C that I bought. And I confess in that video that I know nothing about Yokomo. When I brought in the 94 YZ10, I talked about how I needed help with that one because I knew nothing about it. And I'm learning, but I still just don't know a lot about Yokomo. I look at this car and I can see that it's got RC10 Worlds shocks on it, like my 94. Doesn't have original shocks on it, but whatever. Apparently Masami liked the Worlds car shocks, so I guess it's probably a good thing that those are on there. So how did this happen? So first of all, I need to thank Ruben. So Ruben is a gentleman in the U.S. that I met initially when I bought the Predator X10 that I gifted to Glenn at RC Legends. So if you haven't seen that video, go check out Glenn's video, RC Icons Massive Delivery. I think it was a couple of months ago. I had sent him an Ultima kit and I sent him a Predator X10. I knew that that was like one of the #1 cars he wanted in his collection, so I made it happen for him. I mean, that's the bottom line. Glenn and I are really, really good friends. We talk every single day. And I wanted him to have one. So Ruben had one for sale on eBay. I had reached out to him. We didn't know each other at the time. And a lot like other people, you know, you start to have conversations and emails, what have you. And you know, Ruben graciously sold me the Predator. He actually took a loss on it at the time, so I can't thank him enough for still, you know, moving forward with the deal and getting it done so that I could gift it. But since then, I had bought the John Player Special Body for the YZ10, the 94, and that also came from Ruben. So we've been talking back and forth, and at the time, Ruben had showed me some pictures of his collection, which you know, he's got some pedigree cars, some race cars, and from actual team drivers. And you know, over the last few months, you know, we've gone back and forth, and out of the blue, you know, I don't know, it was probably 2 months ago, he approached me and asked me if I wanted to buy this particular car. So Ruben heads up the Yokomo Elite Builds Facebook group. So I've got some correspondence back and forth here over the past few weeks, and I had asked Ruben how the group was doing, so I just want to kind of read his response. So Yokomo Elite Builds, and then at I think it's like the 30th of every month, they post an elite build from somebody in the group. Now these builds are absolutely crazy. So they'll showcase like Masami's 97 championship car with original electrics, or all the electrics that he had in it, the actual car that he won the IFMAR with, or it may be one that's built up like a prototype car that Masaki had built back in '99, and somebody built one up exactly the same, or it is that car, right? So I mean, they're serious Yokomo builds. So if you're a yoke guy, you absolutely need to check out Yokomo Elite Builds on Facebook. So I'd asked him how the group was doing. He said the group is doing outstanding. We're up to 350 users now, and we just added Mark Pavidis. I apologize if I butchered your name. I know that you won the 95 IFMAR, and the 95 WCS yoke is based off of your car. Like, I get it, but I don't know how to pronounce your last name. But Mark is part of that group now. And so Mark, we just added Mark to the list of members. They've had lots of jewels posted there recently, to include Masami's Yokomo 95 WCS from the Worlds, which was the 95 All Japan National Champ car, and third spot in the 95 IFMAR Worlds car. It's quoted the car. Ruben has that car, and I believe he has a running video of that car running around in his driveway. Oh, yeah, there was also a video posted of the car running on the driveway at his house with Masami's same electrics that he used in the race. Just an incredible experience for the forum. We have also had people post Yokomo YMP-013 prototypes that Masaki built by hand in '99 through 2001 timeframe, with historical write-ups about the order of the prototypes and such. Just a very informative group. So Ruben also sent me some authentication. I'm going to put up some pictures, but basically it's an EMS certificate from Masaki sending this car to Ruben, and it's got Masaki in the return address. I yellowed out his address and his telephone number, but obviously you can see that the EMS tag is from Masaki. And then I'm going to put up some pictures of Masami holding this car. He's kind of holding it out. The car is signed by Masaki and Masami. I'll show you that when I bring the camera over, but it's absolutely the real deal. So what is this car? So this was the backup 97 WCS car that was taken to the pit with Masaki and Masami. Masaki stated that the car was at the 1996 All Japan Championship, mainly again as a backup in testing. So the 97 WCS was in testing phase at the time, so it was more than likely taken with the crew to the 97 IFMAR Worlds warm-up race as a backup as well. But Masaki could not confirm that, as he does not remember at this time. Nonetheless, this was one of 3 97 WCS cars that Masaki made available from his personal collection. Ruben has the other 2. So it's just a piece of Masami history, you know. The other thing that he noted is that this paint scheme was from the 95 time frame, which points that this was 95. This was a test car, essentially 95, 96 for Masami. And later became the 97 WCS. So this 97 WCS was produced by Yokomo, built by Masaki before the 97 WCS was available to the public. I know, crazy, right? I mean, to me, that's just insane. So it was a prototype at the time the car was built, but it is a 97 WCS. That's what it turned into later. So enough chit chat. Let me bring the camera over and show you this gem and the signatures on it, and yeah, we'll just go from there. All right, so now that I have you up close, so this is all paintwork. I'm not sure if Masaki did the paintwork himself or not. You can see that the green is more like a lime green. It's not what we think of as Masami's traditional paint color, being more like a PS17 or a metallic green. You can see these are all of his sponsors: Copropo, Tekin, Reedy. we've got a signature here, Masami's signature on this side, and I think Hasaki's is on the other side. It says Papa Masaki H. So yeah, just a cool piece of history, and then obviously Masami's logo on the front. So I wish I could tell you more about the car itself, but I don't know anything about it other than it's a 97 WCS. It does have a Yokomo Zero motor in it. I'm not sure what the turn is in it. I'm not sure if that's the motor he used when he was practicing. Obviously, it's got the RC10 World shocks on it. But that's your 97 WCS. I mean, just absolutely awesome piece of history to know that Masami drove this car, that Masaki built this car, is just absolutely cool as hell. And the car itself is just cool as hell. So yeah, I haven't really like messed with it at all. I just got it, and this is obviously more of a shelf queen than anything else. I don't know if he ran a one-way in it. I know Yokomo's, I think, used to come standard with a one-way in it. But yeah, just a cool piece of history. Sorry, I'm not even in frame. I'm just feeling how smooth it is. Feels like it's almost got a lock in the rear. So yeah, when the opportunity came up to buy the car, yeah, it's almost like it locks up in the rear. Not sure. When the opportunity came up, I just had to have it. You know, it's got all the titanium hardware. Like I said, I don't know a whole lot about it other than it was Masami's. It says made by Masami Hirosaka right on the back. And then on the front it says Masami Hirosaka. And then it's got Hirosaka's logo sticker here in the front. So yeah, just absolutely cool. I mean, the car is just butter smooth, crazy. Now I don't know if it's probably, you know, they probably put this thing away sweaty. Obviously doesn't have the pink wheels on it like a lot of Masami's. It's got more like a carpet tire on there. Again, who knows what happened with this car after the race, before they decided to sell it. You know, just no idea. I know it does have a 3-bolt hub on it, where usually yokes you see 2 or 4. Actually, it might be a 6. Yeah, it's a 6 bolt, and it's a big octagon. So I don't know if that's typical of the 97 or not. You'll have to let me know in the comments. So yeah, absolutely cool to just have this thing sitting on the shelf. Obviously these things are, you know, it's a one-of-a-kind car with the autographs and everything. They don't come cheap. But for me, it wasn't about the money as much as it was, A, adding a 97 WCS, but B, you know, one of Masami's cars. So like I said in the first clip, he's only sold 3 out of the 97s that he has, and Ruben has the other 2. Now, Ruben has other pedigree cars, but if you want to see the other cars in Ruben's collection, you absolutely need to go over to Yokomo Elite Builds. You'll see them over there over time. But Ruben's also a very private guy, and I know how having collections can be. You don't necessarily want the world to know what you have, so I get it. I've seen Ruben's collection, and it's absolutely insane. So yeah, I'm just honored that he privileged me with first right of refusal. And I'll be honest, if he was to email me again tomorrow and say that he had another car for sale and it had pedigree like this, I would absolutely be all over it in a heartbeat. So yeah, this car warranted its own video. I did not want to pair it up with anything else. It did not need to share the stage with anything else. Just a cool car. I mean, look at that. 1997, right? And what's crazy is it really wasn't even 97. I mean, this was a prototype for what was to be the 97. Some would argue that it's not a real 97 WCS, but maybe there's parts of it that aren't quite the same as the 97, but this was the prototype to become the 97. And it's got the signatures on it to prove it. So, yeah, just cool. Very, very cool. And I'm honored to have it. So, yeah, let me bring the camera back over for a closing. I want to give a quick pedigree as to on Masami. Now, if you don't know Masami, you've probably been living under a rock, or you just got back into the RC hobby after not being in it for 30 years. But I just want to read a quick pedigree on Masami, and we'll close this video out. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. So before I close, for those of you that might not know a lot about Masami, may only know his name, listen, when I started collecting or getting back into RC 4 or 5 years ago, the Cat XLS had been reread and it had Masami's name all over it. But I didn't realize at the time to the degree the guy won, right? And how good of a driver he really was. And fully aware that some of you that are watching might not either. So I just wanted to read this real quick, that little bio that I got online. Masami Hirosaka, born February 26, 1970, is a Japanese radio-controlled driver who is considered to be the world's most successful, with a record 14 IFMAR World Championships. In 1/12 scale electric, 1/10 scale pan, 1/10 scale two-wheel drive off-road, and 1/10 scale four-wheel drive off-road. All electric. Hirosaka's peers have nicknamed him Master Masami. He was considered to be one of the highest paid drivers in RC racing until he retired from the activity. His last IFMAR race was the 2008 World Championship in Thailand, and his retirement ceremony was May 3rd, 2009. Masami was first brought into RC car racing at the age of 7 by his father Masaki, a former motorcycle racer, who finished second in the 1971 Suzuka 6-Hour. A research and development employee with ABC Hobby and later with Yokomo, and radio-controlled car racer and designer when he bought him a Tamiya Lamborghini Countach. They raced together for 4 years until, upon realizing that Masami was the better driver, Masaki retired from racing to focus on becoming Masami's mechanic. In 1987, during the World Championship round of four-wheel drive off-road at Romsey, England, Hirosaka arrived as a privateer with a Shoemaker Cat, so he wasn't even sponsored by a car manufacturer at that time. Bar being provided power sources from HPI, he had shown promise during practice and was brought into attention by Phil Booth, who was Shoemaker's works driver. Booth referred him to Cecil Shoemaker, who provided him a longer wheelbase version of the Cat called the Cat XL, then unavailable in Japan and was raced by the majority of the racers. Masami then, despite being near stock with a much the Cat XL, despite being near stock with much of the running gear added from his old Cat, Hirosaka managed to win the title. After that win, he was given numerous offers from sponsors before he ultimately settled with Yokomo and Associated Electric. For those of you that don't know, obviously Yokomo didn't have two-wheel drive and Associated didn't have four-wheel drive, and that's why he drove for both teams. As well as driving for Yokomo and Associated Electrics, where he helps develop and design new cars and tests the resulting prototypes, Hirosaka held a job as a sales engineer for Yokomo. Of all of his IFMAR Championships wins, only his first title was won driving cars from neither of those manufacturers, when he was driving the Shoemaker Cat XL. He used to practice for 100 laps once or twice a week, and he always did it on road to improve his reflexes. Throughout his competition career, get this, Hirosaka has a total of 307 victories, so first place finishes, 307 out of a total 447 races, with 47 second place finishes and 27 third. Did you hear that? 447 total races, 307 won, 47 second, 27 third. That's insane. He has a total of 37 World Championship starts with 25 podium appearances, including 14 championship titles and 35 A-main appearances. So out of 37 World Championship starts, he had 35 A-main appearances. Out of a total of 70 JMRCA All Japan Championship appearances, out of 70, he won 52, spanning 21 consecutive years, 1986 through 2006. 67 of those 70 were A-main appearances. So if that's not pedigree right there, I don't know what is. I mean, that's just insane. You think of the name Masami and you think of him being one of the all-time best, if not the best. When you start reading those numbers, it's pretty apparent that the guy was the best. That can be argumentative. Some people will say that, and I can't believe that they justify this, but I've read online that, oh, he had all the best available parts and tire compounds, and you know, everything was prototyped that the other drivers didn't have, and that's the only reason he was as good as he was. Well, here's a news flash. All the other drivers for all the other companies had prototype rubber compounds as well. None of them were running stock or old stuff. Everybody was running the best and greatest of the manufacturer or their sponsor had to offer. The fact that Masami did it with Associated in Yokomo is a staple to the companies that he raced for. Both of them have unbelievable win pedigree. But that's not to take away from the other manufacturers, but it doesn't get any fairer. You know what I mean? The teams that were racing against him, if they didn't have superior manufacturers, it is what it is. The best team is going to run for the best manufacturer. I mean, the best driver is going to run for the best manufacturer. It's just the way it is. And at the end of the day, the car had to finish the race. And that's a staple to Masaki being his mechanic. So yeah, I mean, just an unbelievable driver with an unbelievable pedigree. And again, I'm just honored to be able to have one of his cars. Now, be it a quote-unquote practice car, this car may have never even ran in a world championship. I have no idea. Sounds to me like it was a practice car, but whatever. I don't care. It's got his name on it, and it's got Masaki's name on it, so that's good enough for me. Masaki built it, Masami drove it, and I'm honored to have it. So yeah, that's gonna do it for this video. It's not very often I show a single car in an unboxing, but this one warranted its own video, and obviously I'm excited to show you guys. So you'll have to let me know in the comments what you think of the whole Masami story. What do you think of this car being a prototype for the 97 WCS? I mean, Ruben says it's a 97 WCS. The guy knows, he eats, sleeps, breathes Masami. They're friends, and I would have to side with Ruben that this is the prototype for the 97 WCS and that's what it is. Thank you, Ruben, for allowing me to steward this car in my collection until a time where it goes to somebody else. I do appreciate it, and it is absolutely a pinnacle in the collection that I have here. So I do thank you. If you guys aren't already subscribed, I would encourage you and ask you to subscribe to support the channel. I do appreciate each and every one of my subscribers to the point to where I do giveaways. We've got one coming up. I know it's been since Christmas, but you'll have to stay tuned because there are some giveaways coming up. It's been way too long. 4 months is too long for me to not be giving my subscribers a car. So make sure you stay tuned. Make sure you're subscribed so you can be part of it. Let me know in the comments what you think of the car, what you think of Masami. Definitely check out Yokomo Elite Builds. Ruben's done an awesome job getting the group off the ground, and it sounds to me, I'm not on Facebook, so I can't tell you firsthand. I'm not a social media guy, although I have a YouTube channel, which sounds totally crazy, but I'm not on any social media whatsoever. So I would have to assume, based on Ruben's comments, that it's an absolutely, I'll be honest, he's like pushing me to want to become a Facebook member to check out the group. But unfortunately it's not for me. Social media is not for me. So yeah, you guys will have to check it out. And it sounds like there's some pretty epic stuff happening over there. So check out the group, check out Ruben, and other than that, thumbs up, thumbs down, whatever you feel like doing, it's fine with me. Until next time, part 3, vacation stuff, it's coming. This is part 2. This happened while I was on vacation. We'll see you soon. Thanks.